some nice sunset light and shadows making their way through the cathedral domes, windows. Lighting up some saints' imagery. One September day in the future, when you tear down that great wall of evil around me, and we get started building Jesus' Immaculate House, those 1,000 points of light. So an archbishop is before a Senate subcommittee, and the senator is asking him, you've known about Melton, John Melton Brady, demonstrating America's hijacked lifelines for over a decade. How many parishioners, those of the Catholic Church, have brought that to your attention? And the Archbishop looks over to the Pope. He's there for moral support, and the Pope's hand kind of goes up, and everybody thinks it's to, wipe a bead of sweat away. It's very hot, especially in that hat. But no, it's to wipe away a tear over what has happened to the Catholic Church in America. And the Archbishop looks a little further, and sure enough, there's that cowardly Hussein, hand up like that, telling him, take the fifth, take the fifth. Yes, that cowardly Hussein, fetus hater, telling him to take the fifth. Take the fifth. Professor Foote has his class doing a project together for a semester, final kind of thing. They've called up all the mayors in their state, they've called up all the governors, all the senators, to ask about me. Not one Flight 93 check call in over a decade of asking. No certified mail, no non-certified mail, no FedEx, no UPS. They've got it on video. They've got the certified mail. They've got the fives they've held up at the political rallies they could get to. Big fives. These, you can make these into binder art as well as posters. They've got that. And Professor Foote says this is the staged nature of, they've also got all the network news folks. Staged nature, unfortunately, of our democracy that needs to change. This is dangerous when they can place a cowardly Hussein in a White House, right? If we got attacked by a whole lot of cowardly Husseins. So Harry has a big five on his desk, and whenever somebody asks, he says, here, reaches into the drawer, gets a couple of paper clips and some tape. You got tabletop art, desktop art. He reaches into the desk and gives them a five, laminate to last longer, and tells them, you make a video of America's hijacked lifelines. You call up every reporter and network news anchor there is. You try to call Melton in front of them. And yes, Father Harry prints out some new fives quite often to protect that flock of his. You should too. A Sandra image, guardian angel, flower grower, and yes, cloud designer as well. And some saints, kind of extra. I've printed them out separate from the months, so that I could have some in a morning. Videos, photo videos, without getting the whole month or having to come up with a nice talky parable. You can find the Saints, saints-imagery.blogspot.com. Download them, print them out, and here's why you gotta have the border on it. You see how smaller up here it is than it is down here? It can go down into the photo, even with the 4x6 frame there. But that's why. Also on it, yes, either side. Come see me. Let me design some imagery around you. Yeah, you got to see me in person. The devil steals your calls. Make a video of that right now. 424-229-4140. Then come see the Son of Carpenter and Mary in person in Eagle Rock neighborhood in northern Los Angeles. You see someone besides me, these clouds, these flowers, and gold. In my imagery, someone started to tear down that great wall of Chinese evil. Be that somebody. Mountains, colorful shadow. Here's imagery. 30,000 plus graphic art photos, including this one. At a lot of these sites, follow the links on DNFD series there. And you'll find all kinds of backgrounds. Leave them on, cut them off, it's up to you. You'll even find a few GIMPs out there. Free downloadable programs that I use to store my graphic art projects on. Saints imagery, other imagery, and with those you can choose any background you want, even put it in your own. But you gotta come see me in gold in person if you're gonna let me define graphic art with your beauty girls. Do that. Make that video if you hijack. Call to me 424-229-4140 and never a 5 when you need one. Then come see me in person. And yeah, these make for some good big 5 kind of imagery. Not one polite 93 check call in over a decade of asking. That's a 4x6 photo. Put this on your desk. When someone asks, tell them, make a video of America's hijacked lifelines. Hand them one of these, 4x6 photo, what, 10 cents? 20 cents you don't know where to shop? Tell them, make that video of your hijacked, call your family's hijacked lifeline as you try to call Milton. Save the video for the Senate subcommittee, and yes, ask the senators, aren't you covering easily documented censorship that affects our lifelines? So Trump has gotten back to the Oval Office with the general right after a certain staged news event. And he says, can you believe those stupid senators trying to go after me with that Russian campaign financing? Here's what I want you to do with that phone company of yours. Make sure that all of those senators on the wrong side that are up for re-election, they get that phone ringing, error message, busy signal thing when they're trying to get re-elected. Yeah, I was just taking a shower of my man in a wheelchair, and the folks from down below making noise were kept yelling, making noise with loud music to try and make me fall, transferring from the shower chair to gold, my wheelchair. And they kept yelling up, we're from Trump. So a senator who was on the wrong side of that fiasco that was the looking into of Trump's placement by the Russians. And he's on the wrong side of it now, because Trump's had the general make sure that all of those senators or whoever else was involved in that, yes, on the other side of that, he makes sure that when they try to call up those constituents to get support for the next term, they get that phone ringing, error message, busy signal. Yeah, I'm working on Trump's phone gate, but they're harassing. Here at T-Terrorist, the Muslim Slaughter Enterprises is. Marla is a rape victim. And she is making a video of President Trump at a press conference, and folks chanting recall because we can't call. And she says, having this man as President of the United States worries me, because he is not doing anything like the cowardly Hussein they placed in our White House right after we got attacked by a whole lot of cowardly Husseins. I don't know if it's his Presbyterian upbringing that has him active in her phone not working, Marla's phone not working as she tries to call me. But she definitely wants all of America to try to call me in front of all folks who are recall because we can't call kind of folks. I'm Milton. Here's some skyline and some duck imagery. Here's what you should do about your family's hijacked lifeline. Make a video if you hijack call to me, not one flight 93 check call in over a decade of asking. There's my contact info. There's where to, right there. The certified mail, make a video first, it's going to be stolen. Back to my parable video here. And yes, come see me in person. Oh, the girls would ask, what is that beautiful sound? And I'd tell them the quick answer. Choir of angels, moved by your beauty and our love mate to sing. And other times I tell them the other answer. It is the sound of pain, slowly shaken free from my soul. Make that video. Whatever you get when you don't get me, post. Well, this one could use a little lighting, I think. You see, Annie, often it's not as bright, very rarely too bright, but not as bright as I designed it on the screen. Oh, a simple program, a simple program. Phototape, easily downloaded and free. You can lighten up that image. I've seen quite a few saints. The devil's people are going crazy over those saints. Oh, those are caps right there. Brighten them up for you and everyone else. Post and repost my saints imagery, my other imagery, especially the Flight 93 check imagery. And we're in Wadeo. Make videos, post as well. Post and repost my videos and your videos. Get the truth out about America's hijacked lifelines and dangerous folks who are crazy as anything, who are hijacking our lifelines. Bond is before the Senate subcommittee. She's married to Cheryl Bond, and they are asking, he's with LADWP, altered my phone payment. Yeah, that's my wheelchair there. His brother is the gay husband of my personal knife in the back sister, and they are asking, the senators are, what do you know? Why are your Iranian brothers and sisters on American soil with Solari Enterprises why are they being terrorists to a man in a wheelchair? Why are you? What do you know about America's hijacked lifelines? And Khaled Hussein's doing this in the audience, so move on. Cheryl Bond as well will be taking the fifth. Get the truth out of them for that Senate subcommittee and save the video for the Senate subcommittee. Try to call me in front of them. A commandant, someone in the military who teaches, admirals and generals and other officers, their kind of stuff. He has walked up to a general, and yeah, it's not one he trained, but he asked him all those questions about preparedness and America's hijacked lifelines, how lifelines are an active part in any countries, much less the most powerful country in the world. Lifelines, and is that general, he just blows his top. He's angry as hell. He's yelling and screaming at that commandant, whatever they call him. I don't know. And he gets on video and he says, were you this angry? This angry and uninformed when we got attacked by a whole lot of cowardly Husseins with 9/11. And yeah, he goes back to the class weight, and he says that's how you weed out those who never should have been there to begin with. Deborah and Lily are nurses. They're also roommates, apartment housemates, whatever you want to call it. And this federal guy has stopped by their house very surreptitiously so as not to draw attention. He has found they have a wealth of video and audio about a particular doctor he's looking into researching for that Senate subcommittee kind of thing. And he asked both of them, how'd you come to start making those audios? Where were they kind of stuff? And they said, oh, they're always, the doctors where they work are always passing the blame to them. And they're worried that sooner or later they're going to pass it on something that extends beyond the office, like the Senate subcommittee kind of stuff. So they made those audios, videos of those involved in America's hijacked lifelines, perhaps. So Mormon cult politician Romney is at a photo op, and someone asked him, does your cult have thermonuclear capabilities? And he looks over to that false Mormon prophet, ex-art doctor, 95, half as old as his fraud of a faith. He's on a gurney. They push him around that way. And feebly he shakes his head back and forth and he says, no, of course we don't. And they ask him, what do you know about us not reaching Milton and your cult case in neighborhoods all across America, as those phones are not allowed to work? And he just says no comment, and he beats the false Mormon prophet to the door. Make those videos. Governor Newsom, why have you been actively involved in harassing a Christian in a wheelchair, active in my family's hijacked lifelines? The senator at the Senate subcommittee gets right to the point, and Governor Newsom kind of mumbles something. Big work governor, handsome bald guy. And he mumbles again when he asks again, and then he finally says, "Oh, I heard that governors couldn't be called before a Senate subcommittee." And then they ask him about connections to ISIS and Taliban, because of the nature of harassment of Christian in a wheelchair here in Eagle Rock, Solari Enterprises, and Cowardly Hussein out in the audience is doing this, so he takes the fifth. We are at a photo op in Russia, and one reporter holds up a big 5 and says, "President Trump, why can't I reach Milton by phone? When else will my phone not be allowed to work?" And he interrupts her and he tells her, "I'm Putin, I'm not Trump." And she says, "Oh, well, do you have Trump's number? It's not listed." And he takes out his phone and gives her Trump's number, gives her Susan Wojcicki's number as well, runs the YouTube. Good folks to talk to about America's hijacked lifelines and the suppression of truth about that. We call because we can't call. Impeach because we can't reach. My new GIMP I'm working on, but the Mormon cult and Muslim cult, dangerous folks from Iran on site are just going crazy. But that's going on. There's a photo op outside the library, and that's what you hear. That chant, those two chants. Inside, Annette, a Mormon cult member, is walking around with her bra on the outside of her clothes. She's been getting a lot of calls asking why her cult, all of them were what? All. She's a genealogy librarian. They want to know when else their phone won't be allowed to work because of what they're an active part in. They want to know. Why is your cult case in those neighborhoods when the only one home where the kids have to cook? She gets another call, she forgot to turn her phone off. She starts yelling and screaming so everybody can get a video with her phone in that library. We're in Wadeo, a more honest world because of the ever-present eyes and ears of technology. And Dad, the devil hates the Jesus in the window there. Yeah, all doctors, it's nothing personal. We're making the most. We're hanging on your every word. We're making the most of your expensive time. Remember, any one of your patients can have those ever-present eyes and ears of technology rolling with just an audio maker. And you got 30,000 other images can be made into desktops, guys. Check them out, print them out, and hand this to your doctor. Tell them Lori Ann Brady Bond and the Devil Bonds requested this image with their character. Remember, everybody's watching. This is Gold. I am Melton, son of a carpenter and Mary. The daddy carpenter worked on skyscrapers, Mom Mary Ann. I am the son of a carpenter and Mary. I get to tell parables. And this is my imagery. You'll find 30,000 plus at these sites. When you see a site, like on Gold there, the YouTube, follow the links for Milton for imagery, and you'll find these on the Flickr and a Google Drive. Download, print me out next time you print out your friends and your family's photos. That's 4x6 print. And yeah, make for good tabletop art. Couple paper clips and some tape. If you want to be in Milton's imagery, you got to come see me in person. First, make that video of your stolen call to me. 424-229-4140. A lot of ever more desperately folks active in America's hijacked lifelines. Make that video, save it for, oh, here's one here. Save it for the Senate subcommittee kind of stuff. And yeah, call up your senator, ask why can't I reach Milton? When else will my phone not be allowed to work? What are you doing about that? Impeach because we cannot reach. Recall because we can't call. 424-229-4140. Get everyone weighing in on dangerous censorship and their part in it. Every elected official. Get them all weighing in. Milton's flower imagery. Makes for a nice contact card. Nice DVD label. All attractive blonde and near blonde girls on college campuses, make that video if you're stolen. Call to me right now. 424-229-4140. Time and the date in your video. Mate with your phone if you want, of whoever's right there with you. Not your boyfriend, is it? Time and the date on your phone, my number dialed. You got PhoneGate. Save the video for the Senate Subcommittee. Randall Stevenson, loud this morning, this Sunday morning. Next door, bought Spectrum to arrest a Christian in a wheelchair. He hijacks lifelines to do such things as place a cowardly Hussein. Not a fan of the Oriental Russian buffoon guy. But yeah, to hijack America's lifelines so he can be at the top of the phone business, based in Dallas, Texas. And then he goes back in and alters phone records to cover up his crimes. It doesn't do Randall Stevenson much good when all of America has PhoneGate on video. Do that. Remember to hold up these big fives at those photo ops. As 4x6 photos, you're going to find them on Vote-Truth. You can make them a binder size or a poster. Take them to all Mayor Garcetti of LA, Jewish guy. Governor Newsom, Catholic guy. Up California, and before you come out here as a tourist, you try to call me, 424-229-4140. And don't come if you can't reach me, because I haven't had one Flight 93 check call in over a decade. Call California, Utah, and Louisiana on that. And yeah, don't go there as a tourist if you can't reach me by phone. I do ask them what they are doing involved in America's hijacked lifelines. Especially the doctors of, Catholic doctors of Louisiana, yes, California, and Utah. Hold up those big fives and start that chant. I can't get the other image I wanted on the way too. Recall because we can't call. It's very important. That's your family's lifeline. Get that chant going at all incumbent press conference. Recall, photo ops. Recall because we can't call. Till you get some action about your family's hijacked lifeline, you know interaction between me and you is not the only reason they're hijacking. Yes, the cowardly Hussein placing after we got attacked by a whole lot of cowardly Husseins is another. Mayor Garcetti. Jewish Mayor Garcetti, actively involved in hatred of truth and Christianity. He is at a photo op, and they're chanting recall because we can't call, and they're also asking questions. Well, why aren't you doing anything about the man, the Christian in the wheelchair in Eagle Rock, who's having his lifeline and livelihood? Lifeline's most important for all of us. It's your lifeline as well as you try to call me. Timestamp on your phone, number dialed, date in your video, save it for the Senate subcommittee, and yeah, Garcetti's honest. He says, well, I'm hoping, I'm going for, bid for the presidency, and I'm hoping they'll just up and kill them, those Muslims running wild with Solari Enterprises, so that, I won't have to worry about that during the campaign. With the Harbinger cult on hand. And Google with their YouTube and Susan Wojcicki's religious hatred, active part in America's hijacked lifelines, commerce hijacking. Make that video of Susan Wojcicki stealing your business. Oh, who knows what's going on with that? Have 100 folks go to any of these links right here, and on my links Excel or wherever you can find it. YouTube.com/Melton for imagery for one, and you document Susan Wojcicki's treason for the Senate subcommittee. Skyline imagery, flower imagery, take your pick. 30,000 graphic art photos prepared as 4x6 prints. You're gonna find something you like. Laminate, paper clips, tape, coins if it's windy. Don't even need the coins if it's in a place that's not gonna knock over real easily. Come see me, girls. Let me define graphic art with your beauty. But you gotta see me in person. Make that video of America's hijacked lifelines. 424-229-4140. Then come see me in person. Let me define graphic art with your beauty. No, girls. I know what you are thinking. I am not a supermodel. Just a handsome, bald artist who needs you in my imagery as I build Jesus' immaculate house. I'm Melton, son of a carpenter Mary. Yes, the guy growing a whole new body to do just that. Build Jesus' immaculate house. Make a video of your hijack call to me. Then come see me in person. To be in Melton's imagery. Tear down that great wall of evil around me, and let's get started. Building a better world. One image at a time. Oh, here's the eyes. Or at least one of them. Agnes is a nurse at a hospital, and she has handed out quite a bit of 93 check imagery to folks she sees there with their family. This one's kind of plain, but you can find a whole lot of very true graphic art about Flight 93 checks. In that 30,000 plus graphic art photo collection, they're going to be 4x6s. If you want the bigger ones, you have to size them up yourself. I bet some of you can do that. She's handed them out, and yes, Jennifer is calling a whole lot of Catholic doctors from Louisiana, from Utah, and California. And she tries to call me with them on speakerphone. She asks, what is your very active part in America's compromised security? Our lifeline's not working all the time. Rebecca, a good Catholic, is talking with Archbishop Gomez about the Mormon Muslim cults harassing a Christian in a wheelchair with Solari Enterprises, a Muslim company, actively taking part in that harassment. She's asked a lot of folks, since he's let that phone audio maker roll. Garcetti, the mayor, Newsom, the governor. She says, why are you an active part in religious persecution in your position? And Gomez says, well, I'm hoping to become the Pope, so I'm hoping they'll get angry and just take him off the problem list for my bid for being the Pope. Solari Enterprises Teresa, making a whole lot of cash from Hackla and other sources, is testifying before the Senate subcommittee, and they ask her, why is your Muslim cult harassing a Christian in a wheelchair? And what else are you doing with that harassment? Do you have ties to ISIS or the Taliban or the royal Saudi Arabian family? And she looks over to Enrique Vergara, waiting his turn in the seat, and right next to him is the cowardly Hussein placed in our White House right after we got attacked by a whole lot of cowardly Husseins with 9/11, and he's doing this. So she says, I'll take the fifth. A drone is talking to Susan Wojcicki and her billionaire Russian husband himself. He says, Susan, you gotta give up the phone. You're gonna have your staff make that call for you, and he calls. The general himself told me that you're talking about all kinds of stuff you can't be talking about when everybody with those high-tech toys can be listening in. As that phone's not even on. And she says, who was it? What general? Schwarzkopf, Bradley? Reels off a few more. And he said, no, the Russian general. And she hands her husband the phone. But one of the Eliases of Elias Properties in Monroe and West Monroe, Louisiana, and who knows where else, is taking some groceries to the car from the supermarket, and Agnes walks up and she says, what do you know about me not reaching John Milton Brady Milton? Not one Flight 93 taking over a decade of asking. And whatever she says, or he says, it's what follows. They say, why did you pick this time to ask me about that? And Agnes says, well, the dangerous Muslims you're in bed with, also Solari Enterprise, an apartment complex in California, they laid in wait with their Muslims for a man in a wheelchair. So yeah, we want to know what else you're a part of here in Louisiana and California. Get the reaction post. Yeah, that's my what you do. My new iPhone. There we go. Weather fact. No, I don't need a weather fact. I know it's hot. I'm melting some cooking and growing a new pair of eyes. That's what that is. Don't try this at home. Dad himself taught me how to do the genetic carpentry. Do make that video of your high-tech call to me, 424-229-4140. Not 1.93 check calling over a decade of asking. Yet our high-tech lifelines and livelihoods on video. Pose. So the general, you'll have to excuse it, will not stick at a single focal point. Means I'm getting a lot of video from yesterday's, a lot of folks watching my videos from yesterday. It's bizarre as hell. But anyway, and yet my screen turned to like a 1-inch screen. I think it's done that before, but there's no way to change it. It's distraction. Let me get to the parable real quick. The general's in the Oval Office. He's spinning around on the desk, the desk chair, and he's trying to get the feel for it because Randall Stephenson, with his bloody hands of AT&T's phone gate, promised to make him a president of the Americas, if he supported him. And the admiral walks in and he says, "Where is Trump?" And he says, "Oh, he's in the Lincoln bedroom with his buddies, the Mormon cult, Jim J, Charlie M missionaries." The George, a concerned citizen, has walked up to a Solari Enterprises employee executives. They seem to lie about who's the current executive regional manager of Solari Enterprises. Oh, they're one of many that inspired this image right here. Harassing a Christian in a wheelchair, and that's what George asked as he tries to call me. "Why are you harassing a Christian in a wheelchair?" "When else will my phone not be allowed to work? What's your part in that?" Gets it on video and post. Oh, they're having a meeting downstairs. Look at that glass office from Eagle Rock Boulevard and ask them, "When else will my phone, your family's life, will not be allowed to work because of the religious persecution you're conducting?" Tommy, the no-armed Chinese fella, average manager of the streets of the unseen business, was told to stick his right arm into a wood chipper, and he did that, and Lefty, the left arm, wisely jumped off. No arms, but he's got a promotion. And Tommy's dreaming, tangled up in the sheets, and Rhea, his girlfriend's trying to wake him up. Oh, this is half of Trump's phone gate. That you can choose the, Hussein's in Trump's phone gate. That you can choose the background. If you know how to use GIMP. Anyway, they asked Tommy, this rich Chinese American, if he'd want to be president. He says, "Oh, I already am." And yes, Trump and the cowardly Hussein, whatever they're doing, wherever they're doing it, they say, "Yes, I already am." Tear down the Great Wall of Chinese evil, holding back the progress of mankind, and let's get building. Jesus' immaculate house has 1,000 points of light to inspire the future and the present to greatness. Make that video right now if your hijack call to me. 424-229-4140, not 1.93 check call. In over a decade of asking, put that first brick of truth in Jesus' immaculate house, and come see me in person. Have wit, will travel. Bring a lift for gold. Nice fan or something. And let's get started building a better world, despite that great wall of Chinese evil that we see crumbling all around us. Hussein's and Trump's phone gate. And yeah, quick parable about Randall Stevenson, AT&T, bloody-handed phone gate kind of thing, having a photo op, and he's talking about how in the middle of the night, after hours, they can tell from the security camera there were a whole bunch of Russians with a few Mormons going in a decade plus of phone records just wiped clean. Like that video, if you had that call to me, not one Flight 93 checking over a decade of asking, and they say one of them looked like G. Gordon Liddy. Son of a carpenter married. Dad, a carpenter, worked on skyscrapers. Mom, Mary Ann. I'm the son of a carpenter married. I get to tell parables. And yes, no girls, I am not a supermodel. Just a handsome, bald artist who needs you beside me. Building Jesus' Immaculate House, those 1,000 points of light to inspire the future and the present of greatness. Let me define graphic art with you beauty girls as we do that. And remember, take all of my Flight 93 check imagery to those politicians and others, like Greenpeace and stuff like that, photo ops, and ask them, when else will my phone not be allowed to work? Why aren't you doing something about that? It's been a decade he's been asking for a Flight 93 check without getting one. It's all of our AT&T livelihoods, guys. And it's our AT&T lifelines as well. Here is fabric. 9/11, Flight 93, checking post in 5. I don't think of redoing it. It's more readable, especially with the Old England. I'm going to save it for tonight because, yes, the devil going crazy as anything around here. And yeah, I think over here I can always add to it. Once again, shorten the titles on the 5s today. And yes, I'm one handsome bald guy working alone. Painful memories from the past, dredged up. I don't know where they came from, but that distracted me. Yes, evil from high school. I don't want to talk about it. Who would hate that much the devil, I guess? As a 4x6 photo, I think that looked good. And I'm going to see if I can even that out. I got an idea to do it, but I have to look into it tomorrow because my dinner's cooking. Make that video, get that going. Recall because we can't call. Mayor Garcetti and of course LAPD Moore. Not doing anything about me asking for a Flight 93 check for over a decade. And Muslim Solari Enterprise being an active part in that. You can recall the top cops of California. You can impeach Catholic Governor Newsom. Getting his own kind of evil going. Not doing anything about America's hijacked lifelines or those on hand interfering with me designing Catholic saints. We'll just call them saints. They just go stone cold crazy left and right about that. Every time I design an image, the Mormon cult and Muslim cult from below, through that hatred, that evil. But yes, President Trump can be impeached as well. All you senators on the wrong side of that Russian financing of his campaign. If you've had trouble, reaching folks on the phone, for your re-election campaign, yeah, that's Trump paying you back. Make that video if you hijack call to me. 424-229-4140. Certified mail as well. Not one Flight 93 check, call, or mail in over a decade. Hear that, siren? Make that video of America's hijacked lifelines. I better go check my food. Yes, it was the angels let me kind of in on it back then, and I just didn't. I'm not going to talk about it. I made a parable about it once. I changed the name, Kayla and others, but I'm not going to talk about it. We're in Russia, and Putin has shown some American military to a mansion, and there at the pool is Susan Wojcicki, YouTube $490 million YouTube gal. And the military says the Senate subcommittee wants you, and she says to Putin, "You set me up." And Putin says, "I told you long ago, I'm too old to start backing up now. You know the trouble we had with Afghanistan and those cowardly Hussein placers. I'm not going to have you dragging me there as well." And oh yeah, he goes over to some bushes there, and he says, "Governor Newsom, Mayor Garcetti, they want you to." So Dr. Armstrong is in his empty waiting room talking to the receptionist, and he says it's getting out the Wirram Wadeo and ever-present eyes and ears of technology, making for a more honest world. And I tell you all the time, Catholics of Louisiana, Utah, and California, including Governor Newsom, 9/11 Flight 93 checking posts at 5 in front of them, trying to call me, and yes, find out what else they're doing. And one of the few patients comes back in and he says, "Oops, I forgot my phone." And he picks up that Mormon cult cartoon Bible on Armstrong's table there. He accidentally left the audio maker going, and he goes out. This is 1 hour of me trying to get Solari Enterprises to do their job as an apartment manager, and them showing themselves to be that Iranian terrorists on American soil harassing a Christian in a wheelchair. Go. So make a point of trying to call me with all of Solari Enterprises. They can't seem to make up their minds who is the regional manager, but all of them. Get them on video as you try to call me. 424-229-4140. Post. Recall because we can't call until any politician that wants to be around next term does their job.